So, guys, has Trump declared any war against Tinubu? So, this person commented on a video and said Trump is the god of world 21st century. He declared war against Tinubu already. So when I saw this thing, I was like, has Trump declared any war against Tinubu? And then this other article again came out where a professor said something. I'll take a look at what he said. Bola Tinubu should avoid irritating Trump. US president will bully him. Professor Akinyemi. Hey, so guys, it appears Trump and Tinubu are not best of friends. I'm just wondering how this is going to affect Nigeria for the next 4 years. Number one, people have been tweeting on Twitter, commenting that because of the last presidential election and how Tinubu emerged, that there's no way Trump will want to associate with him. Also, we know recently they said Nigeria joined BRICS, and all those countries that have joined BRICS, in short, they've already declared war against US, and now Trump is there to fire back at them. So because of all these things, happening, people are already insinuating that this Trump administration is not going to favor Tinubu at all. And if it doesn't favor Tinubu, you know how that is going to impact on Nigerians. So this professor actually granted an interview on Channels Television. I'm going to let you watch the video where he said Tinubu should just avoid Trump. As in, Tinubu should not even try to go close to Trump. That Trump will bully him. Trump is a bully. He is now advising Tinubu to stay clear of Trump because Trump government is not going to favor him. So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country. And there's another video where a man was just, talking about how the Trump administration is going to impact on Nigerians. I'm going to allow you to take a look at these two clips and let me just know your thought in the comment section below. Do you think if really Tinubu is at war with Trump, that this is going to help Nigeria at all? I don't think, honestly, and we don't even pray that that war should be. The only thing we should be looking forward to is that let Tinubu allow a credible election in 2027. I believe if Tinubu can promise Nigerians and allow a fair and credible election to take place where INEC chairman will not tell us he had a glitch, I think that one will settle everything for me. But like people are already saying, some people say Peter Obi shouldn't run, some people say this person shouldn't run, that Tinubu is already having the judiciary, the INEC, that nothing will change in 2027. No. If with the Trump presidency, we are going to see a change, a big change in our elections, in our electoral system, I think that is going to be a very big welcome. Let me allow you to just watch this video for yourself and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Take a look.
Rough ride for 4 years.
Prof, if you were President Bola Tinubu, how would you address or approach the relation with America? Is it cautiously or aggressively, or how would you advise this president in Nigeria to approach our relation, considering the temperament, the character, and the policy direction of Donald Trump?
Well, if I were President Tinubu, I would try to steer clear of antagonizing him, because there is nothing a bully likes better than taking on people who are not strong enough to resist him. There is that African proverb, if you are not strong enough to take on a bully and you take him on, you are just even going to suffer more for it. It's like because Muhammad Ali slaps me, I would then want to enter the ring to confront him. He will just take off my head. It's as simple as that. So if he gives me one slap, I will move several steps backward to make sure that the next punch from him doesn't land on me. And that's the advice I will give President Tinubu. Try and avoid having a confrontation with him, even if that means that he does things that annoy or does things that steps on the interests of Nigeria, there are ways in which you could address his own reaction without confrontation. I will not advise, if you know, take a lesson from the Chinese. The Chinese have this cultural attitude. They won't take you on frontally. It's a Chinese culture from the time of the ancient emperors. And I once asked a colleague of mine in China, why are you accepting this from the United States? He said, what's the point of confronting the United States? The future belongs to us, the Chinese. It is the Americans who will wear out their energy, their resources by embarking on adventures around the world.
But basically, the speech was intended to reassure supporters that the change that he promised during the campaign, that he will carry them out. The slogan, make America richer, American safer, American greater, those were the underlying currents in the speech, the idea of transferring power back to the people of America, reducing the power of particularly the liberal elite or the deep state in Washington, and so on. So essentially, it was an American-focused speech. And looking at the implications for the world, we need to segment the world. The world is, as far as Trump is concerned, consists likely of the United States of America and its enemies. Basically, China and Russia will feature very much in the minds of a Trump administration. I think China, of course, on the trade part, may be subject to great imposition of tariffs, but that will have implications for the rest of the world, particularly for Africa. In terms of the Chinese can always fight back by devaluing their currency 10 to 20%, as I've seen in one analysis. That will affect African currency. So a fight with China might have consequences for our own currency. So we should be bracing for a more expensive dollar in 2025 and beyond. But if you look at the world, let's look at the flashpoints of the world. Look at Gaza, Israel and Hamas. You look at Ukraine, you look at Iran and Syria. These are areas of American concerns. The likelihood is that we might get some resolution in Ukraine. And we're already beginning to see some resolution in the Israel-Hamas conflict. The conflict has dragged on for more than 400 days. And in spite of Israel's anticipation that it will be a quick fix, bombard the place and pulverize Hamas, it has become a nightmare for Israel. So Israel also is, in spite of his public braggadocio, is anxious to get out of Hamas. And the United States, under Trump, might be able to push some resolution that will be favorable to Israel, but I'm not sure, that might not be too favorable to Israel, because I'm not sure Israel can continue the fight. One thing that I see Trump doing is to push for an end to that fight in Gaza. As far as Ukraine is concerned, he's already talked to Putin, and he was bragging that in 24 hours he will be able to end the war. I hope he can do that. 24 hours is running out, but that's just metaphorical speech. I think he will try to bring pressure on Putin. Their friends are close, and he might be able to lean on that to get Putin to take a different position on the war.
All right, sir.
Then you have the case of Syria and Iran, which are areas of American concern. Iran has always been American concern, but though Iran has been fairly weakened by the pulverizing of Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis by the Israelis and American air nuclear bombardment.
All right,
but
sir.
they still remain a major point of tension in the world, the areas that can create tension in the world. So the good thing about Trump was that in his the Trump won. The first time he came, he did not start any war. So it doesn't appear to be a warmonger. We are hoping that he will not start one now. Although his withdrawal, the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan was likely traced to the negotiations that he had with the Taliban.
All right, sir.
I guess that under Trump, the world might see greater peace.
Okay. I mean, that's optimistic. And talking about withdrawals, yesterday, beyond just preparing a slew of executive orders, he actually signed a number of them. He signed across, like you talked about, across immigration. Of course, like when we talk about how it affects Nigeria and the rest of the world, one of the things that a lot of people are talking about is the birthright citizenship, which some have said would be challenged. I'd like you to talk about that. Also, the CBP1 app was immediately pulled down yesterday, so we saw some Mexicans at the border crying, literally, because they were about to come in. I'd like you to touch on that. Then also, his executive order, his plans to raise tariffs, which he announced during his speech, saying that he was going to create an external revenue service, and how that could potentially trigger a trade war, because people are, other countries are saying they would retaliate with their own, tariff hike on American goods. I'd like you to touch on these items, particularly as it affects Nigeria, and also baby drill. We've often talked about his policy on oil and how that would affect oil prices and revenue for Nigeria, since that's one of our major revenue sources. Please, your take on these particular executive orders, some of which he already signed yesterday.
Thank you. The campaign about immigration was so hyperbolic. It was so much that he's locked himself in a situation where he cannot escape. So he has to follow on his words. The immigration, illegal migrants, were a major source, a major item in his campaign. Everywhere, in fact, that was his major campaign slogan. And I can see that he's following up on that. He has said that from day one, he was going to begin the deportation program. One is not surprised that he has issued an executive order in that area, and they are beginning to carry out that order by shutting down the CBP app. As far as tariffs are concerned, of course, that is a logical thing to expect, that when you impose tariffs on a country, they will also impose retaliatory tariffs. And I've mentioned it before that China's trade with the United States is 15% of its gross trade. It does trade 85% with the rest of the world. So it's something that it can cope with. It can cope with the tariffs. And but unfortunately, it will need to sustain its balance of trade by devaluing its currency. And the consequences of that will be, it will reverberate to Nigeria, to Africa, and so on. And our currencies are likely to be weakened as a result of the tariff. So his tariff policy may have negative consequences for us.
Okay.
So also is his drilling of oil.
Okay, after the drilling of oil, I just want to quickly ask you a question after you comment on that, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I was talking the drilling of oil. Last time, of course, we lost some. The United States has stopped being one of our major buyers of crude oil because of increased production of crude oil in the United States. So one can expect that negative balance will continue if the United States ramps up its drilling.
Okay, so he's been saying he's going to, send a lot of tariffs the way of BRICS if they coalesce. We are now a partner nation with BRICS. The American-Nigerian dynamics at a time where we are joining BRICS and Trump is saying no to BRICS, and the fact that it's pulling out from multilateral agencies like World Health Organization and also, the Paris Climate Agreement. Can you take us through that quickly as we wrap up, sir?
Yes, I think that, we can expect some retaliatory measures if we join BRICS, or we are just a partner country. But BRICS constitutes a threat to Americans' hegemonic agenda. And so I can imagine that the Americans would like to fight and weaken it by weakening its members, and some of the weakest members, like Nigeria, will be the one to suffer the most from that negative policies. The United States has great regard for Nigeria in terms of recognition that it's a great economic power, it has the market, the large population and all that. But they also worry about trade deficit with Nigeria. They have a trade deficit with Nigeria, which is a result of the fact that Nigeria sells oil and gas, and we don't buy too many American products. So, and Nigeria also restricts American agricultural import. We don't take American poultry, maize, and so on. And so that is something that they have rescinded. That's why they removed us from the generalized trade preference agreement in 2019. As far as immigration is concerned, one expects that if you don't have your papers, you don't expect to stay in America. It may be tougher to get there. But last time, when Nigeria was put on the watch list, it did not significantly affect the numbers that are going on. And as all of you would know, Nigerians are still going to the United States in large droves. So there's always that distinction between rhetoric and policies. Rhetoric will be moderated by the reality of bureaucratic bureaucratic processing. So it's one thing for Trump to say something, it's another thing for it to be acceptable within the context of the orientation of American foreign policy. So although we are awaiting Trump with trepidation and some anxiety, the world may not necessarily face too much turbulence under Trump.
That's good to hear.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. A lot of people are saying that this Trump government is not going to favor Tinubu. And you know what that means, you know. During the Obama's time, Obama on himself rose against Jonathan, even refused to sell weapons to the Jonathan's government. And that led to all kinds of security threats that we saw in the country. And then Obama actually intervened. That is, he disrupted the election for that year. Obama meddled with election in Nigeria. That is unacceptable. And that's what we've seen the Republican do in the United States. Not the Republican, the Democrat. And that's why people are very happy that finally Trump is the president of America. So guys, we are going to see how all this is going to be playing out. Does it mean Tinubu should be avoiding Trump? And this man that is even advising Trump is a professor. Does it mean that he does not understand the consequences, the outcome, if Trump should actually avoid, if Tinubu should actually avoid Trump? I think the best advice is to make sure Tinubu mends every fences, because Nigeria needs the US. Whether you like it or not, Nigeria needs to partner with US. So for this kind of advice to be coming from an elder statesman, even though he's a professor, a well-learned man, a well-read human being, I don't think Nigerians should support this, that Bola Tinubu should avoid irritating Trump. US president will bully him. So he's saying that Trump is irritating and Trump is a bully. I don't think these languages are good. That's not how to address somebody that just took over office and you are now already giving him names. I think you should rather encourage Tinubu to mend all the fences. If there's anything Tinubu knows he's doing that the Trump government will not like, Tinubu should avoid it. They should allow free and fair elections in Nigeria. They should allow Nigerians to breathe. These are some of the things we keep saying the government should do. They should recognize the rights of the citizens. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.